Hello guys, how are we all doing? Today's the day Hartlepool returned to the Football League. It was a mental day in the playoff final in the National League. After some mental games in the playoff quarterfinals and semi-finals, it led to Torquay playing Hartlepool. The game itself was fantastic. Hartlepool took the lead. Torquay's goalkeeper scored in the 95th minute to take it to extra time. Extra time couldn't separate the two. It went to penalties, and in the end, Hartlepool just about held their bottle, held their nerve, and they are promoted. But what a game and what a story.
Oh, incredible. You know, this whole playoff campaign in the National League has been fantastic. As you said, some of the results in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals leading up to this game, and then did we think there was going to be as much drama and chaos as there was in this game? Not at all. You know, even up to the penalty shootout, you know, did you think the first four penalties would be missed?
No.
No, absolutely. So it goes to show that, you know, anything can happen.
Yeah, honestly.
On the final day. It really can.
Honestly, that was just fantastic. And we said during the stream today, guys, that it was a great advert for the National League. I mean, you know, the fifth tier of English football, in most countries across Europe, the fifth tier of football is a very poor standard. But I'd say in England, the Football League, the National League, it's all still a very good level of football. And it gave us a great game today. Two teams absolutely going for it for 120 minutes. And a great story in the end. Hartlepool promoted back to the Football League. It was always going to be heartbreak for one team. And in the end, it was for Torquay. I mean, just horrible for them.
Yeah, it is really tough on them. Obviously, considering the second half performance that they put in, you know, really putting Hartlepool under the cosh, managing to get the equaliser. Extra time, neither team really, you know, it was a bit of a stalemate. Extra time, you know, because obviously the first half we saw kind of Hartlepool putting a bit of pressure, creating some really good chances against Torquay. Then it was completely the opposite. It was flipped round in the second half. Then just extra time, both teams just looking to maybe try and snatch that one goal. They nearly did. Hartlepool nearly did right at the end of extra time, but then it went to penalties, and yeah, just probably, I don't know if the better team won in the end, because you probably say both teams, you know, based on their season, both of them you could say deserve to go up. Obviously, Torquay finishing in second place. It's just it's a horrible way to not get promoted. You know, 4 points off Sutton, who went up as first place, and then to not get promoted in the playoffs, to get all the way to the final. It's a cruel way to go out. It really is.
Absolutely. I mean, that is the nature of how horrible it is in the National League, because only two teams go up. You either have to win the league or win the playoffs. And in the end, Torquay, who finished second, 4 points off winning the league, they aren't promoted. They're going to stay in the National League. And, you know, they did so well today. The game went on for ages. It feels like ages ago that they had those goals disallowed.
It does,
I mean, they did have two good goals disallowed. But in the end, if luck was on anyone's side, it was on Hartlepool's side, and they are promoted, which is, you know, fair enough. They're a good club. I'm happy they're promoted, but as for Torquay, I do feel like it will come if they keep plugging away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just, you know, it's such a tough thing to say. Go again next season when you finish second. Any other division, you finish second, you go up. Yeah. This division, no, it doesn't happen. So, you know, will they go again this season after the disappointment? I think a lot of players would think, well, we got to the final, we just didn't get over the line in the end, you know. So maybe some of those players will be looking to get out at the end of the season from Torquay, thinking, well, I deserve this season to go. I deserve to have my place in League Two. So I think, you know, if some League Two clubs are sniffing around, they might want to go and have a look at some Torquay players, because, you know what, some Torquay players, I have to say, they did put out a really good performance today.
Absolutely, honestly. I mean, both teams, like I say, you know, they put on a really good game, and, you know, like I said, a great advert for the National League. But they've both got good players. Gary Johnson, we said, he's a good manager. If they stick with him and they stick at working things like they have done this season, then I'm sure it will come for Torquay. But in the end, it's Hartlepool's day. I'm so happy that they have been promoted, because, you know, when they got relegated from League Two, obviously Jeff Stelling, we knew he was gutted. Their fans were gutted. And this is just, you know, it feels like things are on the up now for Hartlepool themselves.
Yeah, it should be. You know, there's such a big difference between being in League Two and being in the National League. You know, the EFL is such a large part to do with that. And unfortunately, Jeff Stelling's out on the pitch there, congratulating all the players. Really pleased to see him out there, saying well done, fantastic job. Probably a bit emotional as well. But yeah, no, just, yeah, pleased for Hartlepool, really am.
Honestly, what a good game though, and that completes absolutely mental playoffs because we've seen it all. We started with Notts County playing Chesterfield, that finished 3-2. Torquay then had to knock out Notts County 4-2. Hartlepool won a game 3-2. They also beat Stockport 1-0, I believe. And it all came to a head in this game, which was just absolutely fantastic. And a word on the Torquay goalkeeper before we wrap up, because obviously he did really well in the shootout. He saved 2 penalties, but it wasn't to be. He scored in the game itself, though. I mean, he is a prospect. I mean, he looked really good today.
He did. He made some really good saves in the first half when Hartlepool were looking. They were trying to get that second goal, really.
Yeah.
Come the end of the second half. And made some really good saves. And then you can't ask any more of him. You know, a goalkeeper, normally in any penalty shootout, they make 2 saves, you win the game.
Yeah.
You know, and his teammates, unfortunately, they kind of let him down a little bit in some ways. Missing their 2 penalties because ultimately, if they score their 2, they're 2-0 up. 2 more penalties probably wins you the game.
Yeah.
So it's just, it does win you the game. 2 more penalties wins you the game.
Yeah.
Then after they miss their 2, so heartbreak for Torquay, but they'll come again. They'll have their time back in the Football League for sure, especially based on their display today. Because second half, they're fantastic.
Absolutely. That is the nature of the playoffs. You can see heartbreak, you can see jubilation, and that is what we got today in a fantastic game of football. It'll be interesting to see how Hartlepool do as they return to League 2 in the Football League, and we wish Torquay all the best back in the National League next year because we don't often get too many teams from the Southwest coming up to the Football League. So good luck to them next season, but congratulations to Hartlepool, and good luck to them next season. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. Make sure if you want to check out our reactions to go back to the stream, and make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Thank you for sticking around to the end of today's video. If you haven't already, please make sure you've left it a thumbs up and subscribed. Our target is to get to 10,000 subscribers on the Matt SB channel by the end of the year. And if you haven't already, please check out my mate Lee FC on YouTube. Just type in Lee FC, find his account, subscribe to him as we get into 250 subscribers. Cheers for supporting our channels, guys, and we'll see you guys very soon. Take care.